unbreakable, but my emotions are so susceptible.
They are in charge.
A lot of
His
similarities.
wife is basically going to leave him. Maybe his kid. I mean, there's something wrong with that buddy. He's sorry, Spencer Tree Clark, but he's a weird looking dude.
Was that Ben laughing at that?
Yeah. That was Ben laughing. Spencer Tree Clark is like a zombie in this movie.
He's got like the blackest, like
know
Bobby
what?
Durst eyes.
No, you know what he looks like? He actually looks like Haley Joel Osment, but in that scene in AI where he
he's
puts too much
melting?
spinach
Yes.
in his
Yeah.
mouth and his face is drooping. And I'm like,
God, that scene's so creepy.
whoa.
Yeah, he does, but he also like he's always shooting Bruce this like vacant stare.
Yeah.
You know, of this like, oh, you're like, are you a
Put on
superhero?
all these weights, all of them.
Could I speak to the lifting scene?
Yeah, because
Please.
I mean that's basically the next big thing, right? I mean, I guess Bruce talks to Mr. Glass, who's this. We have all these scenes of Mr. Glass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like comic books. The covers are important.
Yeah, that
Here,
scene where
let
he
me-
yaps at the customer in
Yeah.
his gallery is quite funny.
Killed me as a child. There's also the scene.
So true. They
Yeah.
are art.
Yeah. Do you see a Asian child with a blank expression outside and a little rocket ship that jiggles when you put in a quarter, vibrates when you put in a quarter? No, because this is not a toy store.
And then he talks to Bruce Willis and he's like, you're a superhero. And Bruce Willis is like, okay, well, you're crazy. And then he lifts. So, Ben, you wanted to talk about the lifting scene. He lifts like 300 pounds, 350 pounds, something crazy.
I just feel like that was such a tame scene. Like, there were so many opportunities to do, like, a fun montage.
Something absurd.
A fun.
Like,
the
have
movie
him-
just suddenly kicks into a fun montage?
Yeah, like have
Eye
him
of the
lifting
Tiger
up a
plays.
car with his son, and they're laughing, and they go to the zoo, and he lifts up an elephant. Shit like that.
So, Ben, you wanted this to be just a totally different movie, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. What can I say? I have big ideas.
They could be lifted by Bruce Willis in Unbreakable.
That scene is another scene like we were talking about where, like, you know, where he's keeping the camera away from the weights themselves.
Yeah.
And Spencer Treat Clark keeps,
Yes.
like, popping off screen and then coming back on, and he lifts it, and he's like, oh, you put more on, didn't you? Which, like, Bruce Willis, like, turn your head from left or right. You know, come on. Like, but
What?
he's seeing what we can see.
Maybe,
right?
it's
maybe
what
we
Katie
all
said, it's movie
OD'd
logic.
on twists from M. Night in this movie because
Yeah,
each
there's a lot of
scene
little twists.
is
Yeah.
like a little
Is-
twist.
Well, okay, we're missing. You skipped over a big part. There's a flashback to him as a little boy. He's framed in the television set. He's inside a little isolated frame, right? His mom comes up. He has a broken arm and a cast.
This is Mr. Glass.
Mr. Glass.
Yeah.
Yes.
When he gets
right, and she leaves a
His
comic
name
book
is
across the street.
Elijah Price, I think
Elijah
is his
Price,
actual
yes.
name. Yeah.
Yes. She leaves a comic book across the street, and he has to go across the street to get it. And he opens it up, and it's the camera twists, and it's clearly like a big revelation moment. She goes, "There'll be one of these here every morning if you're brave enough to go across the street and set." Do you know what I'm going to say now?
I hope you're going to quote the next line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she goes,
I'm getting giddy here.
"Yeah, I hear this one has a surprise ending." So he's already playing with the expectations of being like, I know you guys think I'm going to fucking do the M. Night Shyamalan. You guys know. You guys know that I'm M. Night Shyamalan.
And we
right?
should also talk about he's planting the seed. I mean, we're going to spoil Unbreakable.
Yeah.
Just FYI, everyone
Yeah.
listening to Unbreakable podcast right now. He is planting the seeds, I think, in Elijah's first meeting with, what is Bruce Willis's character? David Dunn.
David Dunn.
David
I know all these characters right off the top of my head.
Where he says,
Some of
like,
my best friends.
you know, there was a fire in a hotel and like 1 billion people died.
Yeah.
And then there was, what was the other accident? Like
There was the hotel fire. There was the
Didn't
plane
the building
crash.
plane
blow
crash.
Oh, maybe
That was the
that's-
hotel fire.
Oh, okay.
was
That's the
yeah,
hotel
yeah.
fire.
There's
Yeah,
a
and
hotel
then
fire.
there's a
There's a
plane
plane
crash.
Yeah.
And 800 gazillion people died.
Yeah.
And then there was a train crash and you sort like so
I
he's-
waited for the news after all these accidents for one very specific set of words.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you know he'd
There's
be
been
in
one
Philly?
survivor, and he's miraculously on high.
He's just
I'll tell
looking
you
at
why.
Philly.
Is
That's
anyone
the
from
other-
Philadelphia?
yeah.
We're all
Yeah, come on. If someone's gonna be fucking unbreakable, they're gonna be from Philly, right?
Well, at the reveal at the end, I mean, not to jump ahead too much, but I just want to say, weren't there news clippings from, like,
There are.
disasters all
Yes,
over the
There are
world?
news
Yes.
clippings from everywhere, but
It's like,
I
come
think you're
on.
not supposed to think that he's responsible for everything.
He was paying
It's
attention to
more
those.
like
He's
okay.
he's the
He
Philly
started.
wing
I
of
see.
the Disaster Makers Corporation.
yeah, he's not.
Yeah.
It is very Spectre. It's
Yeah.
like crisis in Malaysia. Ooh, dictator assassinated in Myanmar.
I
Like,
am the architect of all of your natural disasters. So in the scene in the office where he's explaining all this to him,
Mhm.
behind him is a big like Egyptian tablet.
Yeah,
Of like hieroglyphs, and then like paintings of like the Virgin Mary, like all these different artifacts from like history. And I was like, oh, that's kind of clever. It's like this is the through line in history
Yeah,
of like how
right.
we tell stories and myth and how these things.
Well,
and
he says that.
Well, okay,
out
and then he
loud.
said it. I forgot that he had the line of
I'm
dialogue.
so smart. Look at me looking at the
That's the
background,
thing.
and I'm really
It
picking
was
up on
so
the
annoying
subtext.
to
Oh wait,
me.
oh there it is.
Because I forgot he had the line of dialogue, and I was like,
he's like,
yeah, I was like, nice directing, M. Night. And then he felt the need to literally name off everything on the wall, and it was like, just fucking trust yourself
he's
a little
not a
more.
subtle writer.
And I don't need him to be. That moment just drove me a little
No, I
crazy
agree
because
with
it's
you.
like, you're doing the work. You don't have to give us the answers afterwards.
Okay, but then there's the bench pressing scene.
Right, which I love.
It's a good scene. It's again really tense. Would you agree, Matt? Like we were saying about the train scene. Like it's just tense because you're like, what the? You know, it's so foreboding and like oppressively dark.
Yeah, you just feel the movie clenching.
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
It's a
time.
clenched movie.
and you feel the like that.
You feel the weight of
You
it.
feel the weight of
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, because like it's not like Bruce Willis is just like, you know, balancing these on the end of his pinky. Like it's hard, but he can do it, and you get the sense of
Yeah,
like
he's still
something
squeezing.
right. You get the sense of something like building up that maybe like this, you know, like it's like the start of an
love it.
evolution. Like
What's also, I love that it's not just like, oh, he can suddenly lift up anything. It's like Elijah Price. Elijah Kelly was the star of Hairspray and The
Hairspray.
Wiz Live. Elijah Price says to him, aka Mr. Glass, you know, when he goes to the stadium with him and he is able to identify the guy as a gun. And he's like, have you ever tried developing this ability? And he's like, developing an ability? What the fuck are you talking about?
sure, right.
And the weightlifting sequence is sort of like, oh, maybe there isn't a cap on how strong he can be, but he still would have to build it up. Not like he'd have to build up muscle,
Right,
but
he
has
needs
to
a
like,
training montage.
right, he can't literally just pick up a building right now. He needs to like
Matt, you're talking
Go
about
grab
Yeah,
it.
that's exactly.
you guys again.
Well, actually, I found this more satisfying
Take it to
than
the limit.
I thought about the Spider-Man